On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.07 of the Get Up and Go show. It's the Wednesday edition. Evan and Bonnie on a way back Wednesday, a couple of days before Mother's Day, and I got a secret to tell you, but I'm not going to tell you on the air.
Okay. Now you're just going to have me waiting till we get off of this microphone, or maybe not till 9 o'clock this morning.
It's like Heinz ketchup.
Oh,
Anticipation.
Yeah, that good old Carly Simon song.
I'm doing something this Sunday for the public.
Okay.
Free of charge. But I can't discuss it on the radio because that would be like getting free advertising for what I'm doing.
Oh, okay.
And it's skating a fine line. So I have to be very careful.
All right.
But it has to do with all the moms in St. Lucie County.
Uh-huh.
That's all I'm going to say.
Is there a mom event going on that
Not going to say nothing.
I'm unaware of?
Can't tell you.
Usually I'm kind of like in the know of what's happening around town, especially when it comes to the weekend.
I can't tell you because this just came to fruition last night at about 7 o'clock. Okay, that's all I can say.
So are we going to...
If you go on my Facebook page,
okay,
you'll see it on my Facebook page.
Okay.
I think it's there.
So I'll
let me look.
Take a look at the Evan 9 Facebook page for a moment.
Let me see if it's on my Facebook page. Hold on one second here, because I was tagged in the post. Yes. It's on my Facebook page.
Okay.
You can look at it. Don't read it. Okay, it's right under. It's like the second post. Don't read it on the air, but just look at it.
I will try to keep my mouth shut about it.
Okay. Don't put it that way.
Is it very exciting?
It's exciting, yes.
Yeah?
Because it's like, for me, it's a form of therapy.
Okay.
I know. Now you're probably like, what the heck is he talking about?
So I'm under the right page here, Evan 9 Entertainment.
No, wrong page. That's my business page.
Oh, okay.
You just got to go to Evan 9.
Evan 9 only.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just look for Evan 9.
Yep. And I'm finding it right here.
There you go. Now click it and scroll down a little. And it's a post made by Antoinetta. Okay.
Okay.
It's the second one down. Did you find it?
I'm like finding a lot of pictures. I see I see a beautiful little dog there. It looks like a Spot from the Little Rascals.
Are you sure you're on the right page? Turn your computer. Let me see.
Like I'm getting the face of these kids with these.
Yeah, you went way too far. You're way down the page.
Oh man.
Go all the way to the top.
Okay.
Scroll to the top. Yeah, go back to the top.
I am trying here. Just bear with me.
If you go all the way to the top, you'll see a picture of my family.
Be patient with me here.
I am.
Now,
that's okay.
I'm seeing. See, this is the first thing that I'm seeing when I'm at your page.
That's not me. That you're on the wrong Evan 9. There's somebody out there that has a page.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're on the wrong Evan 9.
I didn't think that looked like you,
no,
and then
that's not my page.
And then I didn't think that you had
this is at the top of my page.
I didn't think you had a dog that looked like the Little Rascals either.
Yeah,
that's what page. Now, is that the page you want me to be on?
That's the one I want you to be on.
Oh, because that's the first one that I went to with your nice family.
Okay, now scroll down just a little bit.
Okay,
scroll down just a little, and then you'll see the second post by Antoinetta.
Antoinetta, okay.
Don't say the middle or last name.
Yep.
Okay, but you see it right there.
Oh, yeah.
Read that. Mm-hmm. Don't read it on the air, though.
Okay.
Okay, but just go ahead and read that. I'll let you read it for a moment.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and give me your thoughts.
The events there are nice and oh so pretty. It's been a while since I've been to one of them.
I know, but read that particular event
Yeah.
Read the type that's there. Don't read it on the air though, but I just want you to indulge because I'd like to invite you and Gary, if you're not doing anything Sunday
Uh-huh.
to that,
And
just
this
to get out of the house
looks
for a
like
little
it's
bit.
going to be right around sunset, right?
Yes.
That's going to be a pretty
yes.
pretty occasion. I think we'll have to try to make it.
Yeah. So if you guys can,
Okay.
okay, come on out.
That's very nice.
You're a bonus mom.
Very nice
So you're
of you.
included in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's put on by a friend of mine, and they asked me to indulge in what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And I was like, sure, I would love to.
Great.
And I got all excited because that's therapy for me.
Yeah.
Because I haven't done that. And it's been since I did the Tim Tebow event.
Oh,
So in
right.
February or something like that.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like you think like if you're not using it, you're going to be losing it after a while, right,
Yeah,
Evan?
and I was starting to lose it. I was I just I was kind of sinking a little bit. And then all of a sudden I talked to some friends of mine online yesterday, and I came up with this brainstorm, and they loved the idea, and they were like, let's do it. So
Mhm.
we put the whole thing together like within a matter of 15 minutes.
Yeah,
I did the artwork, sent them the artwork and the picture,
I
and
see.
put the text on it, and voila, there we go.
That's going to be such a pretty event too.
It's just going to be a how do I put it? It's just going to be a nice time for everybody to get out and get some fresh air
Mhm.
and just celebrate the moms.
Might have to hit Longhorn Steakhouse after that.
Okay, well you're welcome to go if they're open.
That's kind of like one of my favorite places.
It's a great
out in that
place.
area.
I love that place.
Yeah.
I love that place. Whenever I order a steak there, I order a sweet potato, and in my sweet potato I get brown sugar, butter, and sour cream, and they look at me like I'm really off the wall.
Sour cream and a sweet potato, even?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, that is different. I never
Yeah.
tried that one.
Yeah. People look at me like you're nuts.
A lot of butter and salt goes into my sweet potato,
Now,
but I've
my
never had the
wife-
sour cream.
My wife is she has to have like a pound of sour cream
Gotta
in
have
her
it.
baked potato.
You know what? I'm kind of right there with your wife.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned before, she likes that little bit of the potato with the sour cream.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought of her the last time I had baked potato.
Did you have a little
which,
potato with your sour cream?
I was thinking of your wife,
Okay.
and I was thinking how
Okay.
much like her I am when it comes to that occasion.
Yeah,
A
definitely.
lot of butter too, and then and with the sweet potatoes, I use a lot of butter, and I just pour on the salt. Like
Oh,
I'll be with that salt shaker,
Salt?
like salt and butter on a sweet potato.
remember that song, Shake It Like a Salt Shaker?
I
That was a
do.
rap song.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think we were talking about the lovely Joanne yesterday from West Palm Beach, the police officer.
Oh, yeah, my friend Joanne Reed.
That song.
Sergeant
Joanne. Reed.
Joanne Sargent. She's not a deputy sheriff anymore.
I know.
She took her sergeant's test and she passed.
She really came up the ranks. How
Yeah,
exciting
Sergeant
for
Joanne Reed.
what an exciting time for her. But when you mentioned the song, it reminded me of her because it takes me back to when we used to work together too. And
Yeah,
she was dancing to that one.
yeah.
Shake it, shake it.
Wait a minute. So you used to work with Joanne?
Yeah.
Where?
At the radio station across the Roosevelt Bridge.
Wait a minute. She worked at Coast?
She did.
No. What did she do there?
She was a production lady for a while, and
Really?
also a
I did not know that.
working nights when I moved to town.
Joanne was?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Joanne did radio, and
Wow.
she did it very well too. So
Oh
yeah,
my.
yeah, we go way back when I think I met Joanne in
Okay, so now
2002.
we're gonna need to have her come and co-host with us one morning.
Absolutely.
Wow, that would
Yeah.
be exciting.
I thought you knew this about
No.
Joanne, and yeah, it would be a lot of fun to have her co-host with us.
Wow.
And boy, that alligator! Did she wrestle that alligator?
No.
Or I can't remember. Or did she just kind of like run away from it? I mean,
She ran away from it.
that was a huge gator, man. That was like one of the biggest I've seen around here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a huge gator.
huge. Yeah, it was like one of those.
Super duper huge.
you remember that gator that went viral over a year ago, and it was walking across this golf course, and everybody was looking at the video wondering, is that a real gator or
Mhm.
did somebody just make this up because it just
Right?
looked like one of those huge monster gators?
Exactly. I can't believe Joanne did radio.
Yeah.
I did not know that, and I've known her for a really long time.
That's odd. Well, you just know her through your daughter.
Well, I know her
and
through my daughter and
the
my son from the Eagle Academy.
police and
Yeah, the police department.
yeah.
She was a drill instructor at the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office Eagle Academy, and
Okay.
both my kids went there for the military aspect of things.
Yeah.
And she has a daughter who's getting married. So I have to say congratulations to her. And then she has a set of twin boys.
Oh yeah, she does, doesn't
Yeah, she got a set of twin boys.
And you know what?
Handsome boys.
I don't know the boys, but I knew the daughter when she was just
Amanda.
a little bitty girl.
Yeah, well, Amanda's a grown woman
I
now, lives
know.
up north. She's getting married to her sweetheart girlfriend,
And you know
and
what?
it's beautiful. I love it.
When I see her face, when I see Amanda's face on Facebook,
Mhm.
she just still, to me, she still has the face of that little girl.
She's that
from
little
when-
girl.
from when I knew her way back when.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she has some sweet kids,
Mhm.
some lovely kids.
Hey, so how are you and Gary doing? Haven't talked to you guys lately in regards to how are you guys faring during all of this? Have you guys started to venture out as far as phase one? Have you patronized? It's Wednesday. Have you
Yeah.
guys patronized a restaurant yet and gone and sat down?
We haven't. Have you
Okay.
done that yet?
No, I did not. I actually, when I left here yesterday, I went to downtown Stewart. I took a right out of the parking lot,
Yeah.
and I figured I'd drive through downtown Stewart, and I ran into a buddy of mine. I ran into John Shaman from WPTV News Channel 5,
Mm-hmm.
and we chatted for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I drove down Osceola Street, which is the middle where all the shopping stores are.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stores.
Unfortunately, it was a ghost town
Mhm.
at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. The stores were open, the restaurants were open, but there really wasn't a lot of people there. I maybe saw a couple of people sitting at tables outside.
Oh, okay.
They were social distancing, good amount of space,
Yeah.
but there was not a lot of hubbub going on. It was very quiet, and I kind of suspected that was going to happen. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. I suspected the opposite was going to happen, that everybody was so glad that things were opening that it was going to be packed.
Yeah.
People were going to have lines waiting to get in. And it was the complete opposite
Opposite,
from what
right?
I thought.
Yeah.
It was like, it was so slow.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that.
I think people are just going to be a little bit hesitant at first to get out there and be on the cautious side.
Yeah.
But like we were even talking with the sheriff yesterday and with the beaches and
Mhm.
Monday with the opening of the beaches,
Yeah.
he said it was rather quiet, but
Yeah.
then we said, wait till the weekend.
Yeah, wait till the weekend.
And I think right around Thursday, Friday night,
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, you're probably going to see some things getting back.
I think that's when it's going to hit. Saturday is when it's going to get really crowded.
Yeah, I have that feeling. And then we have to keep in mind too that people have been out of work. So until we get to the phases, a lot
yeah.
of people not being able to quite afford yet, to go back out and,
yeah.
and do the things that they did before.
Most definitely. 6:20 right now. Get Up and Go show on Wicked Wednesday. Way Back Wednesday, as we call it. It's time to go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the latest headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. And free COVID-19 testing in Port St. Lucie shut down hours early Tuesday, but not because of a shortage of tests. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, the group conducting the testing said that they just had no choice but to shut down prematurely. They say that they were following all of the proper FDA guidelines on how to best go about conducting mass testing. But the county's public safety director saw things differently. Cars lined up by the hundreds this week to get their free COVID-19 test in Port St. Lucie.
Part of getting Florida back to work. Let's test as many people as possible.
Kelly Adelberg is the chief of operations for Treasure Coast Medical Associates, Inc. Her medical staff volunteered to conduct more than 1,000 tests given to Port St. Lucie by St. Lucie County. Adelberg says the county did not otherwise have a plan for how to use all of the tests they were given from the state.
They really had no education whatsoever when it came to COVID-19 testing.
So she says her team got everything in order, even used their contacts to get thousands of additional and more accurate tests. But shortly after testing started Monday, Adelberg says the county's public safety director, Ron Parrish, had complaints.
The first day was that our masks were not proper. We weren't wearing N95s. I had these specially made. This is actually considered a surgical mask.
Then more complaints Tuesday.
Ron wanted to have everyone change gloves for every person in the vehicle.
Something also not required under FDA guidelines.
The safe way to do it is to sanitize your hands with the gloves on in between.
Dr. Michael Adelberg, CEO of the organization, says he tried to work out the issues with Parrish.
I said, Ron, that's 24,000 gloves and triples the time in this mass screening.
Dr. Adelberg says Parrish told them to shut down if they were not going to make changes.
He is following a guideline that doesn't exist.
So he decided to stop the tests. A spokesperson for the county said in a statement there were discussions regarding the methodology in the testing, which led to the site closing early, and that they did not force the testing to shut down. Now, Treasure Coast Medical Associates still got through at least 1,000 tests, all of which were those tests that they obtained on their own. The county's 1,400 tests or so were picked up by police and returned to the county to be used at a future testing site. Reporting in St. Lucie County, I'm Megan McRoberts.
While Palm Beach County waits for the green light, businesses on the Treasure Coast are reopening. WPTV's John Shaman has more.
Along Osceola Street,
it was rocking. And then the lights would turn out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown store. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes. But I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stuart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beach. Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stuart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stuart, John Shaman, WPTV News Channel 5.
And the coronavirus is responsible for 72 more deaths in Florida. The state's death toll now 1,471. Governor Ron DeSantis says the state is making real progress in the fight against a deadly foe as phase one reopening continues across much.
As Florida launches into phase one, percentage positive tests plunge to record low. I don't think they will write that headline because it's not going to generate the type of clicks.
Just Monday, former Major League Baseball player Trevor Plouffe said on Twitter that players would be reporting to spring training in June, with the league starting July 1st. Well, that sounds great. It also doesn't seem to be true, not yet at least. The truth remains, it has been since the start of the coronavirus shutdown that nobody knows for sure when baseball is going to restart. Now, on Tuesday, Tony Clark, head of the Major League Baseball Players Union, said in an interview that the Players Union hasn't received a formal plan from Major League Baseball for approval, so that should signal one thing, that none of the plans are far enough along or close enough to happening if the Players Union hasn't gotten a formal proposal. News time is 6:26, and weather and traffic together are next.
6:27 right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
On the roads right now, Evan, we're not seeing any traffic accidents to report, both for Martin County and St. Lucie County. The roads are clear. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 73 in Port St. Lucie, 70 in Stewart, and here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
And now today's episode of The Married Couple.
Hey, honey.
Yeah?
I was just in your bathroom. Do you keep a better brand of toilet paper in your bathroom?
What? You think I would divide the toilet paper that we got before this all started?
Well, I just found out that yours is really plush, and the teepee in the bathroom near the man cave is like single-ply road trip truck stop brand.
It's all the same.
Oh, really? Well, let me look under the cabinet here. Aha!
No.
I thought so!
Please don't take my Charmin Ultra Soft.
Join us next time for The Married Couple.
So, Bonnie, do you have a preference of toilet paper?
Yeah, I like the squeezable soft Charmin.
Okay.
And the last time I bought toilet paper, I was happy.
Okay.
Very, very happy.
Why would you be happy when you buy toilet paper?
I was happy to find it.
Okay.
And when I was in Walmart, I was just checking out, doing my own checkout thing. And then I heard through the PA system that we're selling toilet paper in the back. Come on back.
So did you make a mad dash for the back of the store?
Yeah, I got in line for it, and it was just this beautiful Charmin bath tissue with the huggable, big, like red bear on the front of the package.
Okay.
And you just wanted to squeeze it.
Don't you just hate it when you go to these restaurants or other establishments and they have this like cheap single ply toilet paper on the big roll that's like the size of a pizza tray?
Yeah.
Right? And then you go to pull it down and it just rips.
And then it feels like sandpaper.
Right? Oh, God, I just got the EBGBs on that one. Yeah, it feels like sandpaper. I agree with you. And then to top it off, you have to use twice as much of it to utilize it because it's the crap stuff.
It's just, it's like that toilet paper that, you get when you go into like an outhouse up north.
Okay, I've never been in an outhouse up north. Sorry. I don't make it a habit to go in outhouses up north when I'm there. I usually use the restroom.
Or maybe like if you have to use the restroom, like say if you're out swimming at a lake or a like if you're camping, and they have the bathroom facility that you go in, and it always has that
or a
that
clubhouse.
smell.
A clubhouse.
Yeah,
Like like if you're in a condo development and you go into their clubhouse, they have that cheap crap.
That's
that
like
they
it
use.
too. That's like exactly it.
Yeah, why can't people use the good stuff? I mean, it's people's bums need TLC also.
I used to be so afraid going into like one of those bathrooms out by the lake because, you look down in that hole and
Whoa, wait a minute, what hole are you looking down in?
that of the toilet.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'd always be afraid there'd be some kind of a snake, a grass snake or something in there.
It comes up and grabs you.
Because I've seen the snakes, like slither around the building.
Right. Imagine you're sitting on your throne and all of a sudden from down below you hear
No, that's just like that.
Just think. I mean, next time you go, think about that. You could hear
That reminds me of something out of a Stephen King movie.
Guarantee
Evan.
you're not going to use a public restroom after today.
No, I won't.
Gives you a whole new aspect to things.
Yeah, I don't know, snakes and bats. I've always been afraid of bats too.
I don't know about bats.
They're like to me, they're like flying mice. They're like mice with wings. They fly around. And
Okay. Well, just throw some cheese around.
and if I run, like if I'm early in the morning running, and I see one soaring above the trees or doing a little swoop.
I don't know where you're running at that you see bats flying in the trees.
We have, fortunately, in my area, since I'm kind of a country girl, I'm glad that to see there's some woods still in my area. Like,
so you're telling me that where you live, there's bats?
yeah, I've seen them.
Really?
Early in the morning.
Remind me not to drive through your neighborhood.
Wow. But I'm thankful for it because I'm thankful that we still have some woodsy places and trees. And I'm not against development and progress, but I'm really appreciative, like when I go and run in the morning and I can still breathe in that country fresh forest air a little bit.
The bat air. To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Well, it's better than the COVID-19 air.
That's true. That's for darn sure.
Did you see what Madonna twittered? Madonna?
Yeah, Madonna tweeted.
She tweeted. I mean, she tweeted like, "Oh, I just want to go for a drive and roll down my car windows and breathe in that COVID-19 air."
Yeah.
She's kind of crazy, huh?
Now there's a lot of she's not all there. She's missing a chicken nugget in her Happy Meal.
I think so.
Phil just messaged me on our Facebook page because he's working this morning. That there are a lot of bats in the Jupiter Farms area.
Are there now?
Yes. There's a lot of bats in Jupiter Farms.
Oh, wow. Isn't that where Burt Reynolds used to live?
Yeah. Now he's 6 feet under.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I miss Burt.
Yep. I met him once a long time ago when they were filming Smokey and the Bandit in Coral Springs.
Did you now?
I was there when they did that scene where the car drove through the milk truck. It went right through the milk truck.
I remember that scene.
And Jackie Gleason and his partner were sitting in the vehicle, and the vehicle just filled with milk.
Yeah, I
was
funny.
there for that,
and you were right there witnessing that.
Yep.
Did they have to was that
cool.
like that had to be like a one?
It's a one take. It was a one take.
It had
deal.
to be right.
Yeah, it was a one take deal. Is what it was.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the movie True Lies too, with Jamie Lee Curtis and Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie. This was filmed like down in the Keys, like across the 7 Mile Bridge.
Okay.
And when you go across that bridge, you can see like the old bridge that runs parallel to it.
Right.
And there's parts in it.
You just gave me an idea.
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
You're fine.
I might want to just drive down south on Saturday. I have nothing to do.
There you go.
Just take a drive down.
Yeah.
But then again, that's like the hotbed. So
no.
I think I'm not going to drive down
I want
south.
to go to the Keys.
Yeah.
But there was like a scene in the movie True Lies where I think they had to there was a fire, there was like a blow up where they blew up that bridge. So that had to be like a one take scene in that movie too, I would think. length of time.
Yep.
I enjoyed it as much as I did in 1978, just like now.
Want to welcome in Michael Cooperman, my part of my family tree. He's watching the program this morning online. So welcome in, Michael. He's down in Aventura, is where he is.
Oh, I've heard of that. Is that down south?
Yeah, it's down in North Miami area.
Oh,
very nice area.
Yeah,
lives on the water. Great place. Really nice place where he lives at.
Probably lived close to the Bee Gees.
The Bee Gees were on Star Island.
Star Island.
Yeah, which is further south.
Uh-huh.
That's down by the Port of Miami.
Yep.
Wanted to discuss a little bit this morning, Bonnie, with you, some videos that are going viral. A yowling dog is pretty funny on its own, but this guy made it even better. He took video of someone's howling dog and synced it perfectly with dramatic orchestra music from an RPG battle theme. So let's listen in here. That's the guy's dog howling along with that symphony.
The dog that you're hearing.
Yeah.
It looks like there's another dog sitting right by him on the car seat,
Yeah,
too.
that was the security detail for the other dog.
The other dog's just kind of like being silent there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That was kind of cute video.
That is.
Drivers on a bridge in China got the scare of their lives recently when it started rolling up and down like a giant wave. It's because of unusually strong winds, and officials had to actually shut the bridge down.
Oh, good gosh.
So it started like going like this.
Could you imagine driving on that thing when
Yeah.
it started to go in that little wave being on it?
Yeah, it's a bridge that spans the Pearl River in southern China is what it is.
That
Wow.
would be just terrifying.
Wow.
Ooh, man.
I want to see this footage. I'm going to pull it up. Let's see if it brings it up here. Yeah, let's see if it's going to play. I'll click this. We'll probably get a commercial. So I'm going to bring the audio down. It's loading, and it's still loading, and I'm still waiting for it to load. This is the story of my life, waiting for things to load. And of course, there's a commercial. It's a guy playing golf talking about cortisone 10.
Oh, yeah. Why,
Something I
of course.
really don't want to see right now.
You know, you can't
Okay, so
make
here's
it
the
without
video.
that.
All right. There's music with it. So of course, wow, that's crazy. Let me come back a little bit. You'll see it right there, Bonnie. Watch. See it? Wow.
It looks like the bridge was like breathing.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to do the wave.
I know.
Wow.
That would just be a hairy, scary thing to be on that thing.
Yeah.
And I've always sometimes I get a little nervous going over this bridge right here, the Roosevelt Bridge.
You
and
should try going over
when that wind is blowing, and
you should try going over the bridge in Tampa. That's a bridge to go over.
oh yeah, that I've been over that one. That's
Yeah.
the one where it's is it Martin Luther King Jr. Drive?
Not sure what it is, but it's a pretty darn big bridge.
Like I think it brings you from Tampa to Clearwater or
St.
something, or St.
Petersburg.
Petersburg. I
Yeah.
think I've been over that. That's a big one. There's also a pretty scary one in that connects Superior, Wisconsin, and Duluth, Minnesota.
Mhm.
So going from Wisconsin to Minnesota, especially when it's like 20 below zero, or when it's snowing, going
Yeah.
over that bridge and going over Lake Superior.
Right.
I've always been terrified of that.
Bonnie, there's a video that's been racking up hits on Instagram. It's a dad celebrating like crazy when his young kid hits his first home run. It's just two of them practicing at a neighborhood ball field, and the dad is doing the pitching. But the kid puts a serious charge into the ball, launching it over a 120-foot marker. The dad is a former independent league baseball player, so he's pretty stoked that he may have a future power hitter. Let's listen in here. A little excited.
I can see why though. His voice
Still going.
Let's go.
That was a great hit.
What?
Just a little happy.
Yeah. But his boy really hit it out
Still
of the park.
going. Still celebrating. Right?
That's how we're all going to be when baseball gets back restarted.
Oh man, let me tell you.
I can hear you in the morning, Evan. You're going to be as stoked as that dad is.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
but yeah, his kid really, boy, he just nailed it out of the park. A left-handed hitter too, I see.
Right. Now, there's a video that's making the rounds that was on TV many years ago from Kmart. And it was about shipping your pants. Okay, shipping your pants.
Shipping them.
Yes, shipping. S-H-I-P as in Paul.
Mhm.
Shipping your pants.
Like
So
a ship sailing.
Right,
Mhm.
exactly. So I want to make sure that our listeners understand that I am not playing a commercial with a curse word in it. Okay, so here is the audio side of this commercial that was on TV. It is hilarious. Listen, Bonnie.
Pants right here. Ship my pants. You're kidding. You can ship your pants right here. You hear that? I can ship my pants for free.
Wow. I just may ship my pants.
Yeah, ship your pants. Billy, you can ship your pants too.
I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad.
I just shipped my pants and it's very convenient.
Very convenient.
I just ship my drawers.
I just shipped my nightie.
I just shipped my bed. If you can't find what you're looking for in store, we'll find it at Kmart.com right now and ship it to you for free.
There you go. Right? Is that hilarious?
That is awesome. Evan, what do you want to ship?
I don't know. I'm not going to ship anything right now.
Right. I would be, usually this time of year I'm shipping my Mother's Day gift.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
A lot of people shipping that stuff.
Yeah.
That was very funny.
I thought you would find that quite amusing.
Especially with the part with the little kid telling his dad.
Oh man, that was great stuff.
I love it.
Great stuff. Excellent stuff, without a doubt. I really enjoyed that. That was a really, really good commercial.
That's
but that was from like a long time ago.
And Kmart had that rolling, huh?
Yeah, that was Kmart.
Yeah.
That was a Kmart commercial.
Do we still have a Kmart around here in the area?
The only one that I remember that was around was up in Fort Pierce.
That's the one I remember.
On Okeechobee and US 1.
Yeah, I think
and
you're
that's
right.
been closed for quite some time.
Wow. Hmm. We need to get it back.
Yeah. I used to remember going shopping with my parents. And you would hear on the microphone, "Attention Kmart shoppers, we have a blue light special going on right now." And then they'd roll out this little square cart with a flashing blue police light.
I remember that.
And everybody flocked.
Following that blue light, yes.
Right? Exactly.
Better than the blue light following you, I guess.
That's for sure, without a doubt. 6:45 right now, the Get Up and Go show. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. And while Palm Beach County waits for the green light, businesses on the Treasure Coast are reopening. WPTV's John Shaman has more.
Along Osceola Street,
It was rocking. And then the light switch went out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown Stuart. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes, but I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stuart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beachwear. Next door to Lisa Gay's,
It's a quaint downtown where everybody feels like family.
Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stuart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service. It's a unique shopping experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for a turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stuart, John Shaman, WPTV. News Channel 5.
In St. Lucie County, 2 nurses from the Treasure Coast are providing a first-hand account of the coronavirus crisis after traveling to New York City to be on the front lines to help patients. WPTV's Ryan Newman spoke with one of the nurses who is recovering from the virus herself.
It is a true crisis.
Quinn Hazelleaf and Julie Franklin, 2 nurses from the Treasure Coast, forever changed after traveling to New York City to help and treat the scores of patients battling the coronavirus.
It's very real. In some areas, it's very, very real, and people are dying. They're dying in truckloads, literally truckloads of bodies. And when you see it, it scares you for the rest of your life.
Julie assigned to an overwhelmed hospital in Queens, and Quinn a hospital in the Bronx.
You don't have the equipment you need. You don't have the resources you need. You don't have the people that you need.
The nurses say the hospitals were more overrun than you can imagine. Patients sitting in chairs for days because no beds were available.
I had 7 patients, 1 shift. And 5 of them were on ventilators, which is, the highest acuity I've ever seen.
Both women exposing themselves to the virus to help others. And about 2 weeks in, Quinn felt a tickle in her throat.
I had very good PPE while I was there, and I still got coronavirus. And I've been sick for 2 weeks now.
As South Florida takes small steps towards reopening, these nurses are warning everyone to continue to take this virus seriously.
I just hope people, approach it with some caution, if not to protect you, then to protect your family, or to protect your neighbor, to protect, the old lady down the road from you.
And both nurses remain in quarantine after arriving back home a little earlier than planned. Quinn is still recovering from the virus. She needed breathing treatments, but she considers herself very lucky. Ryan Hughes, WPTV, News Channel 5.
And here's a little breakdown of the coronavirus cases on our Treasure Coast. But broken down by county, the number of confirmed cases in Martin County are at 218, where there are 6 deaths. For St. Lucie County, the number confirmed 259 with 25 deaths. Up in Indian River County, 99 confirmed cases where there are 8 deaths. And lastly, the last supermoon of the year will appear early tomorrow morning. The flower moon will appear at 6:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this according to NASA. And Texans star defensive end J.J. Watt has teamed up with his brothers TJ and Derek to host the new show Ultimate Tag, debuts on Fox on May 20th. News time is 6:49, and weather and traffic together are next.
6:51 right now, the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, on this middle of the week, we are looking at a good morning to be out on the road. Snow accidents, no slowdowns that we're seeing. This is for Martin and St. Lucie County. And there's your latest look at traffic. On the warm side this morning, too, it's 73 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$6:56 right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie, and Fredo and the Shy Guys are out of Cinco de Mayo mode, going back to their big band stuff.
I wonder if people were out celebrating a little bit of Cinco de Mayo yesterday.
I don't know, but I like the fact that we have placed a microphone in the room over there, so when I yell over to Fredo, he can reply back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have some technical difficulties today.
Yeah.
So therefore, the microphone is not working, but that's okay.
Yeah.
They're right on cue. They were here on time this morning, and they're just cranking along. They're sounding great.
It's putting me in a nice mellow mood this morning. That's
Yeah.
like a nice mellow note that they're playing.
Definitely love it. Loving the music that they play. They're just really, really good. Fredo and the Shy Guys. If anybody ever needs a band for their event, Fredo and the Shy Guys. And speaking of bands, next week, I remember I told you about I had a friend of mine that was a sax player.
Yeah.
Well, I had a conversation with her yesterday, and we tested things out. She's going to Zoom into us next week. We're going to have her as a guest on the program. And she is she has a band that they have down in Palm Beach, and she's going to give us a little sax.
Nice.
A little sax appeal.
We'll get some smoothness in the morning.
She may do some Sinatra. She may do, I think she's going to do What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong for us.
Perfect.
So I had a conversation with her yesterday, and that was really, really, really good. It went really well. Bonnie, very quickly before we go to news top of the hour, quick round of this or that. Egg salad sandwiches or eggs on top of your salad? Which do you prefer?
Eggs on top of my salad.
Okay, I'm an egg salad kind of a guy, so I'll take that one. Trivial Pursuit or Monopoly?
Trivial Pursuit.
I'll go with Monopoly on that one.
Really?
Yes. Going into the grocery store or ordering online?
Going into the grocery store.
I've gotten accustomed to ordering online now and
I
then just
know.
go and picking it up.
I know you
I
have.
love it. It's a great concept. Listen to what the president says or what the governor says.
Listen to what the president says.
I'm going with the governor. I like Ron DeSantis.
Okay.
That's just me personally. Again, not political. Just, he gives the facts and he has information data. So he gives the data. Scrabble or Clue? Which one?
Scrabble.
Okay, I'll take Scrabble. This is for you because I don't drink this. Brewed coffee or latte?
Brewed coffee.
Okay.
Latte too sweet.
Okay, all right. Coughing fit or sneezing fit?
Oh, good gosh. I hate them both. I can't even choose that one.
I would say sneezing. It's less stress on the throat.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
Underripe bananas or overripe bananas?
Underripe.
I agree. Checkers or chess?
Chess.
Okay, I'll take checkers. It's easier. What do you miss more, baseball or basketball?
Playing it.
Just in general.
In general.
In general.
I guess basketball is it's more fast action
Okay,
for me.
you like shooting hoops, huh?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right, very good. Folks, we're going to step back for a moment. We're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then hour number 2 of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Don't you dare touch that dial. If anything, just turn it up a little louder.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
7:07 right now, the time on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. And 1 hour down and 2 more to go. Karen Christ is going to be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour. She's the Martin County Administrator. She'll give us a state of the county address and let us know what you can do, what you can't do, and where to go and where not to go.
Yeah, she's going to tell us about all of the fine things that are happening right here in Martin County.
Yeah,
And
without a doubt.
As we move forward.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Time for birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day. And we'll start with you first, Bonnie.
Okay, so happy birthday to my friend Ted and my cousin Paula. Happy birthday.
Okay. Very nice.
Thank you.
I have an anniversary.
Okay.
But I'm going to call them on the air. Let's see if they answer. It's somebody I work with at Clover Park.
Oh, very good.
Him and his wife celebrating a birthday. Let's see if he answers. I texted him. I told him to answer.
What anniversary is it of
I don't
theirs?
know. They've been married a long time,
Like
though.
maybe they're number 25 or
Yeah,
something
bet you
like
10
that.
to 1 you don't answer because he won't recognize the phone number. It's the way he usually rolls.
Hello.
Probably he'll think I'm a bill collector or something. Hey, Bob, it's Evan.
What's up?
Hey, guess first and foremost, you're on the radio with me live. Just wanted to tell you that.
Oh, good morning.
So welcome to the show. Say hi to Bonnie.
Hi, Bob. Good morning.
Hi, Bonnie. How you doing?
Fine, and happy anniversary.
Yeah, we called to wish you a happy anniversary, you and Pat.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Wanted to call and wish you guys a happy anniversary. I saw Pat's lovely post this morning. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to call them on the air live while we're doing the morning show and wish somebody that's near and dear to me, 2 people that are actually very near and dear to me, a very happy anniversary. How many years is it, Bob?
48.
Wow. 48.
48. Man, you
Yep.
really surpassed what I was guessing. I was thinking maybe, are they married 25 years, Evan?
Oh, they're way beyond 25.
Wow, that's amazing.
So what's the secret to longevity, Bob?
Just being pleasant to each other and telling each other you love each other, everything like that.
Aw, man, that's crazy. I love it. I love when people do that. That's really
I
cool.
know.
Bob has been working at the stadium. How many years are you going on now, Bob?
24.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Now, Bob used to be the official scorer. And then a couple of years ago, he transformed into running all our video sequences and our video board for
Right.
us.
I think I probably met Bob before because I threw out the first pitch there a couple of times.
I don't know if you would have met Bob because Bob's way up in a room that you have no access to.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
Yeah, you wouldn't have access to Bob.
Okay.
Pat wouldn't like that. Yeah, his wife would not like that.
Right.
And then he was the official scorer, and then he got after how many years did you official score for?
15 years.
15 years, and then
Whoa.
after 15 years, he's like, "That's it, I'm done." And then he goes to the big boss and says, "I want to do something else.
Yeah.
Where can you put me?" So it just so happened that I needed somebody, and Bob was my man, and Bob is the guy.
So I bet you guys are just itching to get back out there, aren't you?
Oh, miss it so much.
I'm sure. I miss all the hoopla coming up. I get excited about the 4th of July out there and the fireworks. And sometime if I can't even make it out to the stadium, I can see those fireworks from my house. If I
Yeah,
look
they put on
out.
a great display there, without a doubt. And then
Yeah.
Pat retired, and she just couldn't stay retired.
Oh no.
No, she went back. She went back.
Well, with a fun place to be working like the ballpark, I guess you can't blame her.
Pat keeps a ticket office in line.
Yeah.
So any
That's
issues
right.
down in the ticket office, she cracks a mean whip. I will tell you that much. So if you think you're going to get out of line with Pat Adams, you better watch out and think twice because it's just not going to happen.
How many people are employed at the ballpark right
There's
now?
quite a few.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of us there.
So there's quite a few people like laid off too at this point.
Well,
obviously.
I wouldn't say laid off. We're just on a temporary hiatus.
Yeah.
So there's, we have on my team upstairs, We have myself, Mike, Joe, John, Bob. That's 5. And then in the room next to us, we have a couple of other guys. So I think we have a total of about like 8 or 10 people on our team upstairs, right, Bob?
Correct. That's it.
Yeah.
Good people too.
Yeah,
All
really good people. Good people. Good group of guys.
Do you have like a whole team of people that you hire when, say, if you get like really heavy rains and then you have to go and clean up the ball field? Like, do they have to prepare like the field? Like,
Well, we have a grounds crew that the county employs.
oh, the grounds crew.
Yeah, the grounds crew takes care of the baseball field, and then we have a cleaning crew that cleans the stadium.
Oh, okay.
So there's different teams, but on our team upstairs, we have about 8 to 10 people on our team, and we're a very tight camaraderie of people upstairs.
Yeah.
And there's one guy in our room in particular that keeps us on our toes, and he goes by the name of Joe Roselli. That's all I got to say. If you don't know Joe Roselli,
Yeah.
you're in for a real treat. That's all I got to say, because, man, we have to keep the soap and the water down on his end of the room sometimes because the jokes start flying out left and right.
Oh boy.
Joe is one of a kind.
Yeah, he's a one of a kind. He's a guy that's outstanding in his own field.
That's great.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Hey, have you and Pat ventured out to eat anywhere? Have you guys gone to Archie's yet, or any of the places?
No, we're taking it easy now.
Okay.
Just staying social distancing and all.
You just don't social distance from your wife, though, you know?
Try not to.
Hey, listen, again, Bob, happy anniversary to you and Pat. We miss you. We love you guys. And, we'll see you soon at the ballpark. Hopefully we'll get some form of baseball back before the end of the year.
I hope so. Thanks for calling, Evan and Bonnie. Take care now.
No problem. Give Pat a big hug for me.
Will do.
All right. Bye-bye now.
He's very nice.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he sounds like a really
Great.
nice guy.
I think I took him by surprise because he didn't think I was going to call him.
I thought he would be like a little bit gun shy about going on the air, but he wasn't.
No.
He was perfect.
No, he's good. He's
Yeah.
good. I was surprised he answered his phone.
Were you?
Yeah. And you know me, I'm off. I do off the wall stuff. I'll call anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just dial a strange number,
Uh-huh.
a random number, and hope somebody picks it up and tell them they're on our Way Back Wednesday
Yeah.
edition of the show, and ask us to give us a Way Back Wednesday moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's an idea. I should just dial a random number, call somebody,
Yeah.
and ask them to give us a Way Back Wednesday moment.
Yeah, and tell him to, get up and look outside too and look at the western sky this morning because it's picture perfect. Did you see that moon, that full kind of moon
I'm
out
here
there?
in the studio. I can't tell you that.
Man, it was so beautiful.
I haven't
so
ventured
beautiful
outside
this morning.
I've not ventured outside yet. Let's go to our birthdays and anniversaries. Naomi Scott is 27. That's Jasmine in the live action Aladdin.
Aladdin, we saw
Yes.
that last summer.
Yep.
That was a good movie.
Sashir Zamata, 34 years old. That's former Saturday Night Live cast member. Chris Paul is 35 years old. That's the point guard for the Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets.
Yep, basketball. Martin Brodeur, Hall of Fame goalie, is 48 years old. George Clooney is 59 years old today. George Clooney.
Wow, just think
Yeah.
next year he's going to hit the 60 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll be up there in my club.
I was voted like one of the sexiest men alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about Tom Bergeron? He is 65 years old, former host of America's Funniest Home Videos.
Uh-huh.
And now it's Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, he does really good on that.
Who hosts America's Funniest Home Videos now? It's not Tom
No.
Bergeron anymore.
Yeah, I don't think it's Tom Bergeron anymore. I'm not sure.
I can't think of who it is.
I remember.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
I remember when it was like from the guy from Full House, the tall brunette man.
Okay. If anybody's listening out there and you can give us a hand and tell us who the current host of America's Funniest Videos are, give us a call, 772-220-9788. Tony Blair, the England Prime Minister, 67 years old. Bob Seger, Motor City King, long before Ted Nugent and Kid Rock and Eminem. Biggest hits include Hollywood Nights, Against the Wind, We Got Tonight, Old Time Rock and Roll. Bob Seger, 75 years old today.
I am so glad I got to see him down in Hollywood.
Mhm.
I saw him, and wow, he was just phenomenal.
He's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. You know who Willie Mays is?
Willie Mays, a baseball player,
Yep.
right?
Baseball
Yeah.
Hall of Famer, 89 years old today.
89 today.
Yep, 89
That's
years old
amazing.
today. Yeah, people celebrating birthdays in the heavens. Carter, boxing, wrongly convicted this person of murder. Denzel Washington played him in The Hurricane. Orson Welles. Wow, I remember Orson Welles. He used to host a game show, I think.
Really?
I think it was back in the day, or he was on a game show. I think it was To Tell the Truth, if I'm not mistaken.
Orson Welles, too, the voice of War of the Worlds.
Yeah. Rudy Valentino. Rudy Valentino, a sexual legend, is what they called him. When he died, 100,000 heartbroken women lined the streets of his funeral procession,
Wow.
and hundreds of women worldwide committed suicide.
100. Who is this guy?
Rudy Valentino. He died in 1926.
Rudy Valentino.
Yeah, Rudy Valentino. You've never heard of him?
I haven't.
He's a heartthrob.
I haven't even heard of him.
Yeah.
Is he like in a clean industry, or is he one of those industries that I wouldn't be looking at?
No, he was just like in like these love movies and things like that.
Oh,
he was like a modern day Casanova.
Was he like on the picture of romance novels?
Couldn't
and
tell you.
Maybe on the front of that. Oh, hey, Evan, you were
Yeah.
wondering about the current host for America's
Yeah.
Funniest Home
Who is it?
Videos. It's Alfonso Ribeiro.
That's it. Yeah, that's the guy from Alfonso. He was in a TV sitcom pilot.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name of that
And
one.
we used to have Bob Saget hosting.
Yeah, Bob Saget.
And Daisy Fuentes.
Daisy
Fuentes
Yeah.
hosted at one time,
Yep,
too. I
yep.
did not know that.
Yeah. Sigmund Freud celebrating a birthday up in the heavens. Today, we want to say a big thank you and give a big round of applause to our nurses. It's National Nurses Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we thank you for being on the front lines, and we
Oh.
thank you for everything that you do.
So brave for the nurses to
Yep.
get out there each and every day and put on that brave face and working so many hours.
Yep, without a doubt. It's 4 days till Mother's Day, 16 days to the Memorial Day weekend, so please be safe. Don't go out and party too much on Memorial Day because Memorial Day is a day for remembering. It's not a day for partying. It's a day for remembering those that sacrificed their lives.
That's right.
Yep. On this day, 79 years ago in 1941, Bob Hope performed his first USO show for the troop at California's March Field.
I was over there for the troops, Bob Hope, wasn't he?
Yep. Bob Hope
Yeah.
was doing that.
I was for the military.
Yep. 66 years ago in 1954, at a track meet in Oxford, England, medical student Roger Bannister became the first man to break the 4-minute mile. That's very interesting.
Could you imagine running a mile in 4 minutes?
Less than 4 minutes.
That's like a really fast mile.
Yep.
I'm certain that record hasn't been beat.
Definitely not. 26 years ago today in 94, Bobcat Goldthwait set his chair on fire on the Tonight Show and got charged with a crime for it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was out there.
That's like that's pretty out there.
He was way out there. 26 years ago in 94, Paula Jones. Does that name ring a bell to you? Paula Jones?
Paula Jones is
Paula Jones.
was she with the ministry guy and the affair with the guy in the ministries?
You have the affair right, sort of, but she sued President Billy Clinton for $700,000, claiming that he violated her civil rights for making unwanted sexual advances in 91. And he was, when he was the governor, and he allegedly asked her to kiss it.
He did.
Kiss it. Okay.
I
did
looking
not
her up.
have sexual relations with that woman.
Looking her up, I remember her now, her face being very familiar, but I don't remember President Clinton ever saying that.
Yeah, kiss it. And 21 years ago today, the New York Parole Board voted to release Amy Fisher, who'd been in prison for 7 years for shooting Mary Jo Botafuoco in the
Yeah,
face.
she walked right up to that poor lady's doorstep and, rang the doorbell. And Mary Jo had come to the door, and, she was having an affair with Mary Jo's husband.
Yeah, as
The-
Judy Carn would say, suck it to me,
the-
suck it to me, suck it to me.
Car-
Terrible situation.
yeah.
7:21 right now, the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. And free COVID-19 testing in Port St. Lucie shut down hours early Tuesday, but not because of a shortage of tests. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, the group conducting the testing said that they just had no choice but to shut down prematurely. They say that they were following all of the proper FDA guidelines on how to best go about conducting mass testing, but the county's public safety director saw things differently. Cars lined up by the hundreds this week to get their free COVID-19 test in Port St. Lucie.
Part of getting Florida back to work. Let's test as many people as possible.
Kelly Adelberg is the chief of operations for Treasure Coast Medical Associates, Inc. Her medical staff volunteered to conduct more than 1,000 tests given to Port St. Lucie by St. Lucie County. Adelberg says the county did not otherwise have a plan for how to use all of the tests they were given from the state.
They really had no education whatsoever when it came to COVID-19 testing.
So she says her team got everything in order, even used their contacts to get thousands of additional and more accurate tests. But shortly after testing started Monday, Adelberg says the county's public safety director, Ron Parrish, had complaints.
The first day was that our masks were not proper. We weren't wearing N95s. I had these specially made. This is actually considered a surgical mask.
Then more complaints Tuesday.
Ron wanted to have everyone change gloves for every person in the vehicle.
Something also not required under FDA guidelines.
The safe way to do it is to sanitize your hands with the gloves on in between.
Dr. Michael Adelberg, CEO of the organization, says he tried to work out the issues with Parrish.
I said, Ron, that's 24,000 gloves and triples the time in this mass screening.
Dr. Adelberg says Parrish told them to shut down if they were not going to make changes.
He is following a guideline that doesn't exist.
So he decided to stop the tests. A spokesperson for the county said in a statement there were discussions regarding the methodology in the testing, which led to the site closing early, and that they did not force the testing to shut down. Now, Treasure Coast Medical Associates still got through at least 1,000 tests, all of which were those tests that they obtained on their own. The county's 1,400 tests or so were picked up by police and returned to the county to be used at a future testing site. Reporting in St. Lucie County, I'm Megan McRoberts.
Well, Palm Beach County waits for the green light. Businesses on the Treasure Coast are reopening. WPTV's John Shaman has more.
Along Osceola Street,
It was rocking. And then the light switch went out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown Stewart. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes, but I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stewart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beachwear. Next door to Lisa Gay's,
It's a quaint downtown where everybody feels like family.
Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stewart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service. It's a unique shopping experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for a turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stewart, John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
We're getting the first look at how bad the coronavirus pandemic is impacting one of the top entertainment companies in the world. Disney reported mixed results in its earnings call yesterday. The company lost 58% of income from its theme parks and cruises. Former CEO Bob Iger did his best to calm the nerves of concerned investors.
The Walt Disney Company has demonstrated repeatedly over its nearly 100-year history that it is exceptionally resilient, and I believe this time will be no different.
And now this. ESPN is looking to capitalize on the momentum created by its spring hit, The Last Dance. On Tuesday, network executives at Disney said on an earnings call that it has pushed up the release date of 3 of its forthcoming films, documentaries on Lance Armstrong, Bruce Lee, and Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa. It now plans on releasing its latest projects in the weeks immediately after the end of the Jordan series. News time is 7:27. Weather and traffic together are next.
$7:27 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together. Brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
But we aren't seeing any accidents out on the roads on this early Wednesday morning. Everything looking fine on our turnpike. I-95 is clear right now. There's your latest look at traffic. On a warm note, too, it's 75 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Fredo and the Shy Guys cranking up the tunes for us this morning in the other room, in the green room. Glad they showed up for work today, and they went through the sanitizing process. They're all wearing their masks, practicing social distancing, and the band played on, Bonnie.
Yeah, and their brass instruments so bright and shiny too this morning.
Yep.
Got some shine to them.
Yeah, they're sounding great.
Those boys are clean. Nice big band sound.
Yes, I like that. I like
Yes.
that an awful lot. But there's one thing that I really like more so than that.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
I have so much stupid news that I can save some of these for the next couple of days. That's how much stupid news that is out there.
That bad, huh?
It's way bad.
Where are we finding these stupid news stories this morning? And in what parts of our glorious country, Evan?
Well, I'm gonna start off. I'm just gonna go for the gusto. Right here in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're going right up the street.
Watch it. You might be talking about my neighbors now.
We're going right up the street.
Or your neighbors.
Yeah. The first rule of evidence destruction is do not hit a cop in the face with a crack pipe when tossing it out of your vehicle's window.
I don't think those are my neighbors.
Somehow, that bedrock criminal principle escaped ex-con Derry West, 61 years old, during a traffic stop by the Port St. Lucie Police Department.
Wow.
Port St. Lucie Police pulled over a 61-year-old guy named Derry West the other day because his license plate on his pickup truck was not visible. Okay, that's a normal, valid traffic stop.
Yeah.
Well, as the police approached the truck, Derry tried to get rid of his crack pipe by throwing it out of the passenger side window. What he didn't realize, though, was police were walking up on both sides of the vehicle. So when he threw the pipe out the window, he accidentally hit the police officer
Ouch.
in the face.
That poor police officer getting hit with an ugly crack pipe like that.
Yeah, he was charged
Oh,
with felony tampering of
Yeah.
evidence.
I've seen that in Port St. Lucie too, and where I've seen double police cars, sometimes triple police cars, and
Yeah,
then
they always have somebody standing by.
and then you get the action where you're following cars that are rubbernecking, looking at the action with the police and who they're pulling over.
The sad part about this, and I want to say the sad part,
Yeah.
the funny part about this is I know the cop that got hit in the face.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I didn't want to say his name.
Yeah, you might not.
But it's this happens in our backyard, and you can't make this stuff up.
No.
Let's go to Mississippi, where a man who believed that eating toilet paper could prevent him from contracting the coronavirus, and he's been hospitalized.
Wow.
Jerry Glasgow, 34 years old, saw a number of reports about the coveted item, which led him to believe people were eating the toilet paper as an antivirus.
He was really misinformed.
Yeah, his mother also believed the hype around toilet paper was meant to be a cure to the virus, but did not indulge in the precious commodity. It is believed that the man ingested an estimated, you ready? An estimated 164 rolls of toilet paper during a 3-day period,
Rolls?
according to his mother's bank receipts.
164 rolls.
164 rolls.
I thought you were going to mention something more doable, like maybe 164 sheets.
No.
But even
that's
hard to fathom.
164 rolls over 3 days.
Oh my gosh. Isn't the thought of that making you kind of ill right now and making you
I don't want to see what came out the backside.
gag a little bit? Yeah. Oh my word.
Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if toilet tissue maybe
Oof.
who knows, maybe toilet tissue disintegrated in his system.
I don't know.
You know, like it would in a septic system.
But if it didn't, that would be a real pain in the backside. Let's talk about a 23-year-old guy from Florida. He's launched a $350,000 civil suit against his own mother, who he blames for his failed social life and awkwardness. Okay? The plot thickens, Bonnie.
Wow.
Jake Miller, 23 years old, claims that his mother's overly protective behavior and the fact that she breastfed him until 21 years of age have permanently affected his ability to develop healthy relationships with women.
This story's affecting me right now.
You can't make this stuff up.
Oh, man.
The guy is demanding $250,000 compensation for the psychological trauma he suffered and is also asking another $100,000 for punitive damages to be imposed on his 46-year-old mother. According to his lawyer, the 23-year-old's life has been completely ruined by his mother's overly protective behavior.
I don't think I'm going to hear a story as crazy of this all day, or as crazy as this all year, or for the next 10 years for that matter.
I'm sorry, but if you're being breastfed at the age of 21 years old, you are just not right.
Where are these people from?
They're here in Florida.
In Florida? It's a Florida story?
It's a Florida story.
Yeah.
And this is not one of those like National Enquirer news tabloids. This is like a credible news story.
Yeah, that's a real freaky one right there. Freaky.
Could you imagine you're in the mall, you're walking with your mom,
yeah,
and you get hungry, and she sits down, you lean over, and she slaps a blanket over your head, and you begin breastfeeding on your mother in the middle of the mall.
Oh,
and you're 21 years old.
Good gosh.
That's a visual I would not want to see.
Now you're bringing back to memory, too, a scene that I saw in Game of Thrones.
Oh.
And it's just a scene that I didn't want to remember. Oh, you're making me feel so icky this morning.
I did not mean to disturb you like that.
I feel very disturbed.
You're so not right today.
No, that's kind
Poor
of
Gary.
That's a disturbing story.
You're going to go home, and Gary's going to and he's going to call and yell at me and say, "What did you do to Bonnie today? You have scarred her."
I'm sure Bonnie's not the only one that's scarred. Many of our listeners are probably scarred too at this point.
Yeah, I think somebody just drove off the Roosevelt Bridge.
Oh, that's just like an amazing one.
That's a true story. I am not kidding.
I can't get over it. I'm not going to get over that for a while.
Let's go to Tokyo, where the staff at an aquarium has appealed to the general public to help them keep their garden eels accustomed to humans by video calling the marine creatures during the COVID-19 pandemic while the venue is closed. They want people to video call the eels.
Really?
Yeah. Aquarium staff took to social media to report that their once sociable garden eels have started hiding in the sand when any of the few keepers walk by their tank, which suggests they are starting to forget what humans look like.
Wow.
Therefore, hence, they want people to video call so they can watch on a big screen and think people are looking at them.
Talk to the eels.
Talk to the eels.
Is that kind of like swimming with dolphins?
I feel like this is an episode of Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah, I'm afraid of eels, especially
So am I.
those. Wow, you ever see that? Like the swamp. Those swamp people shows where they will go seriously. They'll go swimming with those they'll step barefoot into those ponds with those electric eels.
Yeah, definitely.
Boy, do I think they're crazy.
Definitely. Let's go to China, where a Chinese man who spent nearly 7 months away from his apartment in Langfang, Hebei province recently returned to find his home had transformed into a botanical garden. The unnamed man took to social media to share videos and photos of what he found when he entered his home after being away for almost 7 months since before COVID-19 crisis. You can see the vines lining the walls of his apartment using hanging photos. The TV set and furniture are supports to advance further into the home, and even some stems are hanging from the roof, Bonnie.
Wow. So did somebody like come into his home when he was gone and do some gardening for him? Or, do this all up further? Or did the plants just kind of like maybe start growing? Did they start growing that way?
I don't know.
When he was not home?
I don't
I
know.
mean, I would love to come home and, after I'd be on vacation and find that somebody did something
that's
beautiful to my lawn or my
that's crazy.
grass or, yeah. that is a pretty wild story. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, definitely. Without a doubt. I mean, to come home and find vines growing in your apartment.
Yeah. Maybe someone, next door had a green thumb and who knows, maybe they broke in and just had this urge to start planting.
Yeah, exactly. Planting. Wow. Let me see here. I lost my place. An elderly couple from China's Henan province. Seems like I'm in China a lot these days.
Wasn't that the same province from the story prior? I thought that was like the same place. But anyway, go on.
This is the Hebei province.
Okay.
So now we're going to the Henan province.
Oh, okay. Very close.
Elderly couple took legal action against their own son for neglecting his duty of financially supporting them. Failing to take care of your elderly parents is actually considered a legal offense both in China and other countries with large Chinese communities like Singapore and Taiwan. It's actually not uncommon for parents to sue their offspring
No kidding.
for neglecting them in their old age.
No kidding.
Yes, and while most reconcile their differences before having punitive measures enforced, some don't, and police revenue service and banks have to get involved. Such was the case of an elderly couple whose son flat out refused to support them even after being ordered by the judge.
That's just wrong. And if I was a parent, if I'm getting up there in years, I would never sue my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to help your kids out in life. It's not vice versa where they have to turn around and give it back to you.
Lastly, there's an 18-year-old guy who was arrested this week after allegedly breaking and entering into a Denver hair salon to give himself a haircut.
and I don't blame him because I've been thinking about doing that myself.
No, you don't want to think into breaking into a hair salon, Bonnie.
I need
you
a
can't
haircut.
say that on the radio.
I
can't say that kind of stuff.
I'm
next
joking.
thing you know, next thing you're going to know, you're going to hear at the front door. Excuse me. We just got a phone call that they heard someone on the radio saying they're going to break into a hair salon. So last thing we need is
Yeah.
Stuart PD at our front door.
I'm JKing, and you know
Okay.
it.
All right.
But I
Scared me.
I wish my hair salon would. Man, we need our spas and salons to
Well,
get back
you
up.
have a pair of scissors at home.
we
so
need that phase 2 to come
do
about.
the deed. An 18-year-old guy was arrested this week after allegedly breaking and entering into a Denver hair salon to give himself a haircut. Timothy Hines is 18, was highly intoxicated on crystal meth when he broke into the local business. Hines told officers that he did not intend to burglarize the place, but only to give himself a haircut.
Well, I hope he gave himself a nice one after all that.
I don't know. It could have been a bowl cut. It could have been anything.
Do you have a picture?
No, I
Do
don't.
They reveal a picture.
I do not have
How that-
a picture of that. I'm sure it probably was not all that good.
Crooked bangs and everything.
Oof. Man, times are desperate, but don't break into your local hair salon, please.
Yeah, just put a bowl over your head
Yes,
and
put a bowl over it and
cut around and cut around, and there you go.
There you go. Voila. You're all done. 7:46 right now. News time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning to you, Evan. And while Palm Beach County waits for the green light, businesses on the Treasure Coast are reopening. WPTV's John Shaman has more.
Along Osceola Street.
It was rocking. And then the light switch went out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown Stewart. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes, but I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stewart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beachwear. Next door to Lisa Gay's,
It's a quaint downtown where everybody feels like family.
Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stewart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service. It's a unique shopping experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for a turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stewart, John Shainman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
In St. Lucie County, 2 nurses from the Treasure Coast are providing a firsthand account of the coronavirus crisis after traveling to New York City to be on the front lines to help patients. WPTV's Ryan Newman spoke with one of the nurses who is recovering from the virus herself.
It is a true crisis.
Quinn Hazelleaf and Julie Franklin, 2 nurses from the Treasure Coast, forever changed after traveling to New York City to help and treat the scores of patients battling the coronavirus.
It's very real. In some areas, it's very, very real, and people are dying. They're dying in truckloads, literally truckloads of bodies. And when you see it, it scares you for the rest of your life.
Julie assigned to an overwhelmed hospital in Queens, and Quinn a hospital in the Bronx.
You don't have the equipment you need. You don't have the resources you need. You don't have the people that you need.
The nurses say the hospitals were more overrun than you can imagine. Patients sitting in chairs for days because no beds were available.
I had 7 patients, 1 shift, and 5 of them were on ventilators, which is, the highest acuity I've ever seen.
Both women exposing themselves to the virus to help others. And about 2 weeks in, Quinn felt a tickle in her throat.
I had very good PPE while I was there, and I still got coronavirus. And I've been sick for 2 weeks now.
As South Florida takes small steps towards reopening, these nurses are warning everyone to continue to take this virus seriously.
I just hope people, approach it with some caution. If not to protect you, then to protect your family, or to protect your neighbor, to protect, the old lady down the road from you.
And both nurses remain in quarantine after arriving back home a little earlier than planned. Quinn is still recovering from the virus. She needed breathing treatments, but she considers herself very lucky. Ryan Hughes, WPTV, News Channel 5.
Just Monday, former Major League Baseball player Trevor Plouffe said on Twitter that players would be reporting to spring training in June, with the league starting July 1st. Well, that sounds great. It also doesn't seem to be true, not yet at least. The truth remains, as it has since the start of the coronavirus shutdown, that nobody knows for sure when baseball is going to restart. And on Tuesday, Tony Clark, head of the Major League Baseball Players Union, said in an interview that the Players Union hasn't received a formal plan from Major League Baseball for approval, which notes one thing, that none of these plans are far enough along or close enough to happening if the Players Union hasn't gotten a formal proposal. News time is 7:50, and weather and traffic together are next.
7:52 the time right now. The Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, not seeing any accidents out on the road. So far, so good. Heading out on this Wednesday morning should be a good travel for you. There's your latest look at traffic. It's 71 in Stewart. It's actually even a little warmer this morning in Port St. Lucie at 75. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie on Martin County's Heritage Station, AM 1450 WSTU. Now let's get back to the program with Evan and Bonnie.
7:56 right now, and Bonnie, I got to tell you, there's something that disturbs me. I found this video in between the break here And there's a video that's gone really super viral. It's a Kentucky woman who was caught on video shopping with a hole cut out in the middle of her protective mask, which she claimed made it easier to breathe. Okay, now in the video, Joe Saman, a gas station clerk at the SJ Food Mart in Lexington, sees a woman entering the shop with the torn mask. He asks, "Where did you get the mask from?" And the woman approaches the counter to pay for gas. And she says, "Well, since you have to wear them and it makes it hard to breathe, this makes it a lot easier to breathe," she replies.
So what's the point then?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point of wearing the mask if you're going to have a huge hole in the middle of it?
Yeah. So real quick, I'm going to do something here. 85. I'm going to call the gas station. And we're going to see if this guy is there. Let's see. The guy's name is Joe. This would be hilarious. It's the SJ Food Mart in Lexington.
Lexington,
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah. They must not be open. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I'm looking for Joe Salmon.
Joe Salmon.
Yeah, Joe Salmon. Is Joe there?
This is Joe, but not last name Salmon.
Oh, Saman? Are you saying it's Saman? S-A-M-A-A-N?
No, you got the wrong number, buddy.
Is this
who are you looking for?
Well, is this the SJ Food Mart in Lexington?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right, see, that's the number that came up, so I got the wrong number.
Well,
I just
imagine that.
Googled it.
And, imagine that his name was Joe, even.
Yeah.
Evan, you almost had it right.
Yeah. That's SJ Food Mart, Lexington, Kentucky. Okay, let me see here. That's Joe's. Okay, that was Joe's. Okay, I see. That put me to Joe's Food Mart is what it did. I'm going to have to get the number to that Food Mart. I want to talk to that guy on the radio.
Yeah.
And just get what was his thought, as far as that goes.
As far as seeing that lady come through.
Yeah.
I like the name, though, that you mentioned, Joe Salmon. Is that his name, or how do you spell that name?
I found the number though. I am gonna call it. We'll call it in the next hour. We'll try to get him on. Anyway, we're WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is coming up next, and then Taryn Krisda is going to be here, County Administrator.
Yes.
Talking about all things Martin County. So it should be a real good interview.
Some really good things
Yeah,
she'll
some
have
good
in
things.
store
And I know
for
what
us.
you want to hear, Bonnie, about those beaches.
And the restaurants.
Yeah, the restaurants
too.
and all sorts of goodies. Don't go anywhere, folks. Don't touch that dial. If anything, just turn it up a notch louder. We'll be right back.
Online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.807 right now on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a Wicked Wednesday, way back Wednesday. And speaking of way back, I can remember way back to December of last year when we were just kind of hanging out, going to our local watering holes and restaurants and bars, but now it's a whole lot different.
Yeah, even through January, who would have thought that we be this far and staying at home so much?
Yeah, our kids are going to have an awful lot to tell their kids, who will have an awful lot to tell their kids of what's been going on.
Yeah, like remember the spring of 2020.
Yeah, exactly. But I know a young lady that has an awful lot to tell us a lot of stuff right now, and that's Taryn Krizda, Martin County Administrator, going to give us the State of the County address.
That's right.
Right about now. Hey, Taryn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning to you both. I'm fine. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, you notice I make those little metaphors and those comparisons and analogies when I bring you on. And just, it's all about just having a good time and kind of try to take all the seriousness off of what's going on these days.
Well, I think, we keep reminding folks that, to be kind to one another. I think, a lot of folks, their tension level has been stretched to the limit, and you're seeing, unfortunately, situations like this can bring the worst out of people. So we just keep reminding folks to, be patient, be kind, mindful, thoughtful, all those things that make you a better person.
Without a doubt. Taryn, did you get a chance to watch the governor on TV the other day when he started going into numbers and statistics and putting things into like a reality of statistics of how everybody says this, but this is the statistic? I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, I think, he had to do that, Evan, because, he's getting criticized for, and we've done some of our own statistics. In fact, I had just asked our team if we could just do one of my updates could be based on the data and the data that we're providing to ourselves internally, as well as putting out on our dashboards or on our website so that folks, when we make decisions, they can see that, what our trend looks like. And with those spikes, when we had those major spikes and that we're not just saying, oh, wow, I'm tired of being inside, so we're going to open up this or we're going to open up that. We're actually basing it on a trend. And the governor did the same thing. And he did a really good job explaining that, his thought process.
Yeah, data is very crucial. There's so much doom and gloom. Well, instead of the doom and the gloom, let's go with the real numbers. And the real numbers are the real deal. You can't shy away from that. Real numbers are real numbers. And speaking of real numbers, let's talk a little bit about reality here in Martin County. First and foremost, I'm going to touch on something that Bonnie is so passionate about. In fact, Bonnie, I'm going to let you take over from here just for a short with Taryn. And I know what you want to ask her and what you want to talk about. So Bonnie, this is your passion. Go ahead.
My passion?
Yes, the beach.
Oh, of course. Why, of course, the beach. And it was so wonderful to see that they reopened this week, Taryn.
Yeah, but, we're hesitantly optimistic. Because our numbers are starting to increase. I know we had a couple yesterday at capacity. The sheriff's deputies went out and interacted with the patrons and found that most of them were from the South.
Yeah.
So, and then they ran plates as they do from time to time. And that confirmed that same thought process. So, I think we're going to be hard pressed. Now, one thing that was promising that I did see on the news was that Palm Beach County is meeting on Friday to talk about possibly lifting some of their restrictions if the governor will allow them to. They are sending a letter to the governor asking them to be allowed to separate from Broward and Miami-Dade. The one commissioner that was talking said that their numbers are not as high as those areas to their south, and that they don't believe that they should continue to be a part of that region, if you will, when the governor's making plans for who can open and who can't. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it will be interesting to see. So I think that if they can do that, if they can lessen some of their restrictions, and if they can open their beaches, depending on what the time frame is, I think we can. Then we won't have this influx. But until that happens, I think it's going to be hard for us to manage this over a weekend.
When people go out to our beaches now, Taryn, are they allowed to lay on blankets, maybe sit in a lawn chair? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the sheriff said that yesterday.
Yeah.
There's no restrictions on the beaches.
Right. That's what I thought. I just wanted to.
Other than social distancing, we're just asking that, you don't have a pack of 10 or more, or,
right.
Be thoughtful in your approach. And so, yes, you can bring a chair, you can bring a blanket, you can bring a towel, you're able to sunbathe, all those things. And Indian River lifted their restrictions as well. So I was waiting. I've been kind of monitoring St. Lucie to see what they were going to do. But so in Indian River County, they lifted their restrictions.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that people from Palm Beach County, and don't get me wrong, we love having other people from other counties here, but it's a shame that the people from Palm Beach County are migrating up here to Martin County, and then it just penalizes us. And it takes away from us. And what's going to wind up happening is if they don't get their restriction lifted, unfortunately, what's going to happen is you guys are going to have to go back and reclose again because there's just too many people.
Yeah, and it is unfortunate, but at the same time, because most of our beaches, it's not all of our beaches now that I said that, our beach accesses, we took federal and state funding for those when we acquired them. And those grant restrictions don't allow us to treat individuals differently. So we can't just say, well, you're not from Martin County, you can't go on our beach. They're very, very clear that we cannot be restrictive in our ability to allow access to the public. It's for everybody, it's for the public. Now, and then with our beach renourishment, that's another project that we get federal and state funding for. That goes all the way from St. Lucie County line all the way down, So those have grant restrictions as well, same thing. So it's not like we can just set up a checkpoint and say, you know what, you don't live here, so you can't come on our beach. If we could do that, obviously we could monitor it better, but also that would be very labor intensive.
Yeah, I was guilty of the same thing when Indian River County opened their beaches
Bonnie,
over a week ago.
You.
I didn't do it, but I thought of doing it.
True confessions.
Okay, all right.
Confessions of a beachgoer.
Yes.
But it was, it was in my thoughts. But then the weekend came around, and then for some sort of reason I couldn't go. So
yeah.
But I thought about the people doing the same thing to us at our beaches.
Just be mindful, folks, if you're out there listening. Yeah. If you have friends and relatives down in Palm Beach County, please don't invite them up. The beaches are mainly for the Martin County residents. I mean, even though it is open to the public, we just don't want to get an influx. And like the sheriff said yesterday, he expects as we get into the tail end of this week and into this weekend, that's where the issues could possibly start to cause a problem, Taryn.
Absolutely. And nobody wants to start taking steps backwards, but
yeah.
At the same time, we just can't put our lifeguards at risk. We can't put our deputies at risk, and we can't put our residents at risk because, I think that tensions, as we were opening up saying it, people need to be kind to each other. I think at some point you're going to start this, hey, this is my beach, get off my beach, that kind of,
yeah.
I would anticipate that happening at some point. Their tensions are really thin right now.
Taryn, let's talk a little bit about the businesses. Let's shift the gears here a little bit and get off the beach. I've got enough sand between my toes right now for the next week. Let's talk a little bit about the beaches. Not the beaches, the businesses. I went down yesterday to downtown Stuart on Osceola. I drove down, and it was around probably 11 o'clock in the morning. And unfortunately, it was like a ghost town for some reason. It was very eerie. I saw the businesses open. I saw the restaurants open. I saw just a few people sitting at tables and chairs. Not many, just a few. And I thought it was going to be packed. I thought there was going to be hustle and bustle, and it was the complete opposite.
Well, I went down there for lunch. Now, so we probably got there closer to about 12:30.
Okay.
And I was pleased because we were able to get into one of our places that we frequent down there.
Okay.
And they had their tables blocked off, so they had some tables reserved. It was really cute because they had the reserved for like Tom Howard and Henry Winkler, and they had famous names.
Oh,
on the
that's
table.
really cool. Okay.
Yeah, it was
All
really
right.
cool. So we were able to sit down and eat, and there were a lot more people sitting outside than there were inside. And so as we drove through there, I noticed the same thing. The retail stores were open, but there wasn't a lot of foot traffic. But there was some, but it wasn't that bad. But you got to remember, this is now May, so probably a lot of folks that don't live here year round have gone back to their places. You would imagine.
Now,
I've seen a couple of the car transports.
Now, you mentioned something about dining outside. I had read somewhere that this is going before the county commission, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Something about where they were possibly going to close Osceola Street and allow the restaurants temporarily to put more tables outside for outside dining. Is that true?
That's the city of Stewart.
City of Stewart. Okay, I'm sorry.
And I did talk to the city manager about that.
Okay.
And they have kind of put it back in his hands that if he thinks that would be a viable option, that he would have the ability to do that. But they've been asked by residents and some of the retailers to consider doing that. And, they could do that, but, again, you'd then be pushing through your traffic onto the other street, Flagler there.
Right.
But that has more parking, obviously, than Osceola. So I think there's some options that they were looking at, but yeah, they're trying to see if they can get more outdoor seating.
Okay. All right. Very good. What are you seeing in your, travels throughout Martin County? What is the vibe that you're getting?
Well, there's a lot more traffic on the road, obviously, since Monday, than there was prior to.
Right.
So there are more people going back to work. I'm seeing more businesses with more cars in the parking lot that didn't have so many cars before.
Yeah, we hear Canner Highway's getting very busy again.
Yep. And we're, here at the county level, we're starting to talk about what our next phase will be as far as right now we're about 25% workforce in the office. So we're looking at, the next phase would be that 50% at least. And then, getting people back on track, but it's going to be hard until school's out because so many of our employees have children that have to be monitored while they're doing this virtual schooling. It's not like you can just sit your kid down in front of a computer and say, okay, sit here for 2 hours and finish your lessons.
Right. Right.
It's requiring, and I'm hearing that through all ages. I get it from even my grandchildren, my grandsons that are 13 and 11. It's the same thing. My daughter is almost exasperated because she's got to watch them, keep them on track, and Zoom a meeting at the same time, and her husband's doing the same thing. So it's really an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I'm fortunate enough that my 17-year-old, when I get home at usually 11 in the morning, he greets me at the door. Hey, Dad, I went to school. I'm all done, got all my work done, and I've got my day back, the rest of the day to myself. So he's one of those kids that gets up, gets it done in the morning, and gets it over with. And he tries to stay on a schedule like he is going to school.
Well, you're fortunate in that because not all the kids are that disciplined.
Yeah, I hear you. And lastly, the mall is reopened up, so that's another good thing, right?
Exciting.
Yes, and I haven't been up that way. I was planning on getting up there probably tonight or tomorrow, but I was just curious to see. They do have different hours. It's only open from 11 to 7, and they will not be open on Sundays.
Okay.
We had a conversation with the mall manager, and they have a good plan to keep everyone safe.
Good.
And it was nice to have that conversation and to know. Now, not all stores will be open, so they're leaving it up to store-by-store discretion.
Right.
And I've heard like Macy's isn't opening any stores in the state of Florida right now.
Wow.
Now, I know if you go to the food court and eat, you'll there'll probably be plenty of place for social distancing because that's a very large food court as well.
Yes, and he had indicated that not all of those food vendors are going to be opening right now. So I think it's, kind of a soft approach just to see what kind of a response they can get.
Okay.
Simon malls are all over the United States. So, they're experiencing this everywhere. So there's a lot of resources available to them to make this successful because they have so many sites.
I would be excited if their movie theater reopened. I hope that the theaters open pretty soon.
And that's another one, Bonnie, that you could do the social distancing if you wanted to, just depending on how you wanted to structure yourself.
Yeah.
And I don't know, though, that there's any movies that are being released recently. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see.
I have one word for that: Netflix.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
And Hulu,
Yeah,
which I
Hulu
say every
also as
morning.
well.
Hulu. When I talk to my Fire Stick.
Yep.
Taryn Krista joins us each and every week at this time to give us an update on what's happening in the county. She's the Martin County Administrator, and of course, you can always see her from time to time on your local news channel as well. Taryn, we look forward to having you back in here, hopefully in the next month. I'm going to say, and I say this comfortably within the next month.
Absolutely.
I think you can, it's safe to come back in and do your weekly update with us in person. Love to have you back in here. I miss adding the ray of sunshine in the studio.
We definitely will do that, and thank you so much.
I appreciate it. 8:23 right now. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by this morning with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Free COVID-19 testing in Port St. Lucie shut down hours early on Tuesday, but not because of a shortage of tests. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Along Osceola Street,
it was rocking. And then the light switch went out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown Stuart. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes, but I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stuart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beachwear. Next door to Lisa Gay's,
It's a quaint downtown where everybody feels like family.
Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stuart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service. It's a unique shopping experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for a turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stuart, John Shaneman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
And of course, many of the Treasure Coast businesses they're glad to be back and reopening. And free COVID-19 testing in Port St. Lucie did shut down hours early on Tuesday, but not because of a shortage of tests. WPTV's Megan McRoberts has the details.
Well, the group conducting the testing said that they just had no choice but to shut down prematurely. They say that they were following all of the proper FDA guidelines on how to best go about conducting mass testing. But the county's public safety director saw things differently. Cars lined up by the hundreds this week to get their free COVID-19 test in Port St. Lucie.
Part of getting Florida back to work. Let's test as many people as possible.
Kelly Adelberg is the chief of operations for Treasure Coast Medical Associates, Inc. Her medical staff volunteered to conduct more than 1,000 tests given to Port St. Lucie by St. Lucie County. Adelberg says the county did not otherwise have a plan for how to use all of the tests they were given from the state.
They really had no education whatsoever when it came to COVID-19 testing.
So she says her team got everything in order, even used their contacts to get thousands of additional and more accurate tests. But shortly after testing started Monday, Adelberg says the county's public safety director, Ron Parrish, had complaints.
The first day was that our masks were not proper. We weren't wearing N95s. I had these specially made. This is actually considered a surgical mask.
Then more complaints Tuesday.
Ron wanted to have everyone change gloves for every person in the vehicle.
Something also not required under FDA guidelines.
The safe way to do it is to sanitize your hands with the gloves on in between.
Dr. Michael Adelberg, CEO of the organization, says he tried to work out the issues with Parrish.
I said, Ron, that's 24,000 gloves and triples the time in this mass screening.
Dr. Adelberg says Parrish told them to shut down if they were not going to make changes.
He is following a guideline that doesn't exist.
So he decided to stop the tests. A spokesperson for the county said in a statement there were discussions regarding the methodology in the testing, which led to the site closing early, and that they did not force the testing to shut down. Now, Treasure Coast Medical Associates still got through at least 1,000 tests, all of which were those tests that they obtained on their own. The county's 1,400 tests or so were picked up by police and returned to the county to be used at a future testing site. Reporting in St. Lucie County, I'm Megan McRoberts.
ESPN is looking to capitalize on the momentum created by its spring hit, The Last Dance. On Tuesday, network executives at Disney said on an earnings call that it has pushed up the release date of 3 of its forthcoming films, documentaries on Lance Armstrong, Bruce Lee, Mark McGuire, and Sammy Sosa. It now plans on releasing its latest projects in the weeks immediately after the end of the Michael Jordan series. News time is 8:28, and weather and traffic together are next.
$8:29 right now, the time of the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
It's just really a nice, clear morning out on the roadways right now. No accidents, no slowdowns. There's your latest look at traffic. And in Stewart, it's 74. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTU Morning Show. Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
8:34 right now, the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for a look at space in another place. Randy Siegel is standing with this morning's space report. Good morning, Captain Space Cadet.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, sir, on this date in history, 1968, Neil Armstrong, while testing the Lunar Landing Research Vehicle, a spin was created as a failure took place on the vehicle, and Armstrong had to eject out of that vehicle to safety. And he did, as he was the first man on the moon. In 1975, NASA announced that Canada will be building the shuttle's robot arm. And I must say that Canadarm on the shuttle was amazing because it allowed the shuttle to do many, many things in space. They could launch vehicles from it. They could move astronauts around with it. And it was highly successful. In fact, Canadarm2 is on the International Space Station now. Well, astronauts on board that space station are doing a lot of science work. Chris Cassidy, the commander, worked inside the Quest airlock where spacesuits are being set up and staged. The veterans service the spacesuits, replacing components, cleaning cooling loops. NASA is planning a series of spacewalks later this year to upgrade power and science systems on the station. Flight engineer Anatoly Ivanushin of Russia, a veteran of 2 previous space flights, spent his morning photographing. Will inspect the photos to determine areas necessary for repairs, as well as locations for installation of future science experiments. First-time space station resident Ivan Wagner began his day exploring ways crews can pilot spacecrafts and robotic rovers on future planetary missions. In addition, the Russian cosmonaut moved on and serviced a variety of communications and life support gear above the station. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Lincoln and Doug Hurley are getting ready for their launch to the space station on a SpaceX Dragon vehicle. That should take place on the 27th of this month. Crews have been going into space. Well, another cruise is going into space. Yep, this time it's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise said that he will be shooting a movie on board the space station with the blessings of NASA. The exact timing of it hasn't been announced, but it probably will be late this year or early next year when the space agency is able to use a crewed Dragon vehicle that can carry up to 7 people into space. They would then go to the International Space Station and they would film a movie on board. So it should be very, very interesting to see this new cruise in space. Speaking about the crew that was already up there, Anatoly Ivanushin has said that he is really enjoying working with the 3D bioprinter. He's using the bioprinter and making several samples of biological tissue that have been manufactured for subsequent study in the ground-based laboratory. Ivanushin explained that during the current expedition, bone tissue will be made for the first time on a bioprinter, which will later be transplanted to laboratory animals. Nobody has done anything like that yet. As we told you yesterday, China has launched their Long March 5 rocket with a prototype of their next manned vehicle. At the same time, they have been getting ready to test out a new re-entry vehicle which is partially inflatable, which would also allow it to be reusable. Well, this is similar to the Balut vehicle that the United States has tested. And in this particular case, it didn't do too well in space. The Chinese explained that it was very unstable and they had an anomaly that took place. And as a result, it didn't go very well. The Chinese have not been forthcoming as to exactly what went wrong yet with that particular vehicle. But China is on track to have their own orbital space station in place by 2022 or sometime during 2022. It'll take about 12 missions in order for them to get there, but hopefully they will. The United States is interested in cooperating with Russia in exploring the moon. The cost of going to the moon is quite prohibitive. As a result, if you can get at least two countries, if not more, to work together to go to the moon, it's even better. So we're going to have to see how that pans out. Elon Musk Space Notion 4, which is the fourth number that they've used in a test vehicle, for the first time had a successful test firing of the Raptor engine. The previous models exploded because the tanks could not hold the pressure necessary for flight. In this particular case, they were able to ignite the engines for a very short time and show that that concept will work. Russia is also mourning the loss of Yevgeny Mekrin, the general designer of manned programs in Russia. He died in a hospital after contracting the coronavirus. And the doctors have said that they did everything they could to help him survive, but alas, he did not. Got to remember, this coronavirus is still out there, even though some may say it may be abating. Well, until it's all gone, I would stay safe and wear masks. The Chinese, the Europeans, as well as the Americans, are all wearing masks when they work on any space system. Sputnik, a Russian private company that manufactures small satellites, plans to launch 5 of these, including one for Saudi Arabia. That launch should take place near the end of this year. The Sierra Nevada Corporation has said that they now have wings that will go on their Dream Chaser named Tenacity. This will be a vehicle that will dock with the International Space Station and be able to bring back experiments, unlike most of the vehicles that dock to the station. Tomorrow we're going to tell you a little bit about Jupiter's moon, Europa, as well as the Arab world's first Mars probe. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space from another place with Randy Siegel right here. And now it's time to go from space to another place where Bonnie's standing by at Ellie's Downtown Deli. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, and of course, Ellie's Deli, really glad to be back open for you in-house, and everything is very clean. Everything is very sanitized, just waiting for you. You know, moms, the kids have been doing their schooling, keeping up with those online courses. Bring them to Ellie's Deli for lunch. Chef Mark will make up some really good peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for them, packed with that PB&J. Grilled cheese sandwiches for the kids, turkey and cheese. And moms, for you, you can, maybe get a roast beef and cheddar, maybe make it oven gold turkey with some provolone lettuce, or maybe like a roasted chicken salad with a hot, fresh bowl of homemade soup to go along with. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stewart is open with a full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's is also making dinners with full menu available for any number of guests that you might have. Remember, they have their fabulous desserts as well. Give them a call at 772-781-6605 to order or pick up. They're located at 18 Southeast 6th Street in downtown Stuart, just off Colorado. Call them at 772-781-6605. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
Time for the Precious Metals Report, brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,696. Silver opening up at $14.99 an ounce. 8:44 right now, the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for news. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. While Palm Beach County waits for the green light, businesses on the Treasure Coast are reopening. WPTV's John Shaman has more.
Along Osceola Street,
It was rocking. And then the light switch went out.
Lisa Gay Freitas was having a great season at her namesake store, Lisa Gay Fashions.
Historical downtown Stuart. This is where all the tourists go.
But the pandemic brought that to a halt.
At first, the fear, yes, but I embraced it.
She spent the past month touching up the store, eagerly awaiting this week.
Ooh, party time.
Freitas said business was good Monday.
Great sales, great day. The traffic, it was so nice to see everybody out and about.
In fact, Lisa is so bullish on downtown Stuart, she plans to open a second business right across the street, focusing on beachwear. Next door to Lisa Gay's,
It's a quaint downtown where everybody feels like family.
Judy Farley at Radiant Outfitters hopes the uniqueness of Stuart will lure customers back in an era of constant Amazon delivery.
You get special service. It's a unique shopping experience. It's very tailored and customized to the person's needs.
Farley says they had some customers come up from Palm Beach County, and she's hopeful for a turnaround as long as everyone adheres to social distancing. In Stuart, John Shaman, WPTV, News Channel 5.
The coronavirus is responsible for 72 more deaths in Florida. The state's death toll now 1,471. Governor Ron DeSantis says the state is making real progress in the fight against a deadly foe as phase one reopening continues across much of Florida.
It's interesting. I wonder whether people will say as Florida launches into phase one, percentage positive tests plunge to record low. I don't think they will write that headline because it's not going to generate the type of clicks.
Well, the last supermoon of the year will appear early tomorrow morning. The flower moon will appear at 6:45 in the a.m. tomorrow, according to NASA. NASA said people would have plenty of time to get a view of the moon since it will appear for 3 days, from Tuesday night until Friday morning. According to the Old Farmer's Almanac, some Native American tribes call it a flower moon because of the supposed large number of flowers that bloom in May. NASA said the moon is also known as the corn planting moon and the Visac festival moon. Texan star defensive end J.J. Watt has teamed up with his brothers TJ and Derek to host the new Ultimate Tag that will be debuting on Fox on May 20th. News time is 8:47. Weather and traffic together coming up.
8:49 the time on the Get Up and Go show. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
It's been really a quiet morning this morning, all morning, and it's still remaining that way. We're not finding any accidents or slowdowns to report. There's your latest look at traffic. It's a partly cloudy sky, 75 in Stewart. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
This morning here on the Treasure Coast, it is mild to warm, and we could see some patchy fog. This afternoon, hot and humid with high temperatures around 90 degrees. Once again, we're going to come close to some record high temperatures today. Winds will be breezy out of the west-southwest, and there is a chance for some isolated rainfall later this afternoon and into the evening hours. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
All right, Bonnie, so remember we were talking, I'm throwing stuff all over the place. Remember we were talking about the guy that has that viral video that is making its rounds?
Yeah, he's at like the convenience store up in Kentucky, isn't he?
Right, I'm going to call him.
Mm-hmm. We're calling
I'm
Lexington,
gonna
Kentucky.
call him and Joseph right now. Oh wow, it's like fast busy.
I know.
That's
maybe,
crazy.
Maybe he'll get
All right, let me try it
a
again.
number and call us back.
Let me try it again. Let's see if it's going to ring.
Okay.
That's a fax machine.
I hate that
Wow.
sound. Almost the only thing worse than that sound of a fax machine is when my alarm goes off at my house when I mistakenly open the wrong.
All right, let's
open
see
the
if he
door
calls.
before
I really
disengaging.
want to talk to this guy before and get his thoughts on everything.
Yeah,
Let's see if he calls in.
This in reference, of course, to the lady that came into the convenience store wearing a mask with a hole in the
Right.
middle.
Yeah, she takes it to a convenience store. And I'm hoping this is him calling us right now. Let's see. Hi, WSTU. This is the morning show. Who's this?
Joe Simon.
Hey, Joe. How are you, man? Thanks for calling into the show. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm calling into the show.
Yeah, you're actually live on the air with us as we speak right now, man.
Oh, well, you hit me on it.
So listen, man, your video is going viral. It's like got over 800,000 views. And I just have to ask you, What were your thoughts when this lady walked in with a blue surgical mask and she had a hole cut out in the middle?
Well, what's anyone else's thought?
I mean, that's the craziest thing. I can't believe somebody would actually do that. I mean, did she seem normal or was she a little off the wall or what?
Oh, no, she's completely normal. She's a regular.
She is a
Really?
regular.
She is a regular. Wow.
It's a good thing you knew her. I told Evan off air that it just looked a little scary. It reminded me of the mask Anthony Hopkins was wearing in Silence of the Lambs. It just looked a little bit.
I mean, what was she thinking? I mean, come on, with everything that's going on.
It's mandatory to wear a mask on May 11th in the state of Kentucky.
Oh, so May 11th in the state of Kentucky, where everybody wears a mask.
Yes, it is, and I'm guessing she's thinking, "Hey, this is uncomfortable to wear everywhere I go. Maybe if I cut a hole in it, like she told me."
Yeah, but you're defeating the whole purpose.
Yeah, you are defeating the whole purpose.
Wow.
But some people, that's where you're getting a stance on both sides. Some people think you're getting your rights stripped away when the government tells you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Some people think it's safe. So you're gonna get different people. It's just like anything else. It's politics at the end of the day. But
yeah,
everyone wants to be safe at the end of the day. And
well, I appreciate it, and hopefully your
So-
video will get up to a million views. You're over 800,000. I mean, who knows? You're on the
5
verge.
million views on TikTok.
Wow, that's crazy. Unbelievable.
I mean,
Unbelievable.
since on air, it's Joe Gotti 96. Follow me. Instagram D Joe Gotti.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Joseph, best of luck to you with your convenience store, and you guys be safe there in Kentucky.
All right, thank you, brother. Have a good
Thank you,
day.
man. You too. Wow, there you go. There's the guy that made that video.
So maybe I can see why somebody did that. Now, I find it hard to believe that they would put a thing on the whole state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
He said for a day.
The whole
the whole state for one day where they had to wear the masks.
No,
huh?
not the whole day. It starts on that date that he said on May.
It starts
Yeah,
on
it's mandatory.
Oh, mandatory on May 11th.
Yeah,
he said.
mandatory
so
on May
that's
11th.
on Mother's Day for the entire state.
Yeah, for the entire state. We'll have to get George's take on
Isn't
that
that
one.
something?
Because George is up in Kentucky.
Oh, that's right. He is.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's almost on that Kentucky-Tennessee borderline.
Yep.
Maybe he'll take off to Tennessee for a while. Maybe where they don't have to wear the mask.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
So, Bonnie, let's do a little round of this or that. I want to continue what we were doing earlier. Hostess Twinkie or Little Debbie cake? I know the worst thing to mention to you right now when you're hangry.
A Little Debbie cake.
Little Debbie, I'll
Yeah.
take a Twinkie any day of the
Really?
week. Yes, banana Twinkies are my favorite.
Oh, my God.
Walnuts or pecans?
Pecans.
All right. Virtual church or doing a drive-in style service?
Virtual church.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'll take virtual church also.
Yeah, you save
for 100.
save money on gas.
Virtual church
that
for
way.
100. Doing taxes yourself or hiring somebody to do them?
Got to hire somebody to do those.
I'll do mine. I'll
Really?
use TurboTax.
You're pretty
Does
brave.
it all for you.
Yeah.
Crossword puzzles or jigsaw puzzles?
Crossword puzzle.
Okay, I'll take jigsaw. Food delivery or curbside pickup?
Food delivery.
I'll take curbside pickup so this way I can get out of the house.
See, I'm saving on gas again.
True, you're right. Renting DVDs you have to return or renting movies online?
Renting movies online.
Okay, all right, I'll take that one. 4 weeks quarantine by yourself or 2 weeks with your family?
2 weeks. 2 weeks with my family.
I'll take family too.
Yeah.
Because family is very valuable.
Yes, you're right.
French press coffee or espresso?
Espresso.
Okay. Working swing shift or graveyard shift?
Swing shift.
Okay. I'll take graveyard because I'm a night owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take graveyard any day of the week. Let's see here. Pizza or calzone?
Pizza.
Okay. If it was my wife you're asking that question to, she would say calzone.
Yeah.
She loves her calzone.
I love dipping it too in the tangy sauce.
Oh, she loves to do that.
Yeah.
John Mellencamp or Tom Petty?
John Mellencamp.
I will say John Mellencamp also.
Yeah, I'm a big Johnny fan. I've been to 2 of his concerts now.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, Bonnie, you know what that means? There's that sound.
No, I don't know where the time goes.
It flew
It's just
by.
And you know, we're going to be back into our weekend before we know it.
I know tomorrow's Thursday.
Yep.
And the Thursday edition of the Get Up and Go show is going to be here, where tomorrow we'll talk to Joe Katzenbone.
Yeah, and you know, the fine thing about it, economics are coming back, so you know, we can maybe get out to stores and buy moms a gift this coming weekend.
Anything is possible, folks. Be safe. And as always, we say ciao mein.
Honduras.
And arrivederci. In the words of Ellen DeGeneres.
Be kind to one another.
That's right, folks. I mean, what the heck? Pick up somebody's lunch if you feel like it.
Good
if
idea.
you're out and about eating.
You can do it mine.
We're no problem. WSTU Stewart, we're Martin County's Heritage Station. The news is up next. Bye-bye for now.